like none of this will work if you put your feelings second. And that's your karma. That's why you're born to a broken home. You're born to a broken home because you keep telling reality that it's okay for you to be broken and to be put off till later. You keep telling reality it's okay. When your husband does it, you say it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Hello, my friend, and welcome to the fourth and final week of fabulous January 2017. So good to see you back. Well, this week we kick off the energy of Aquarius. You're going to be looking for where you belong in the spectrum of the universe, and we'll be having the new moon as soon as Friday, calling for you to set your intentions. But Sensei says this Aquarius season is going to be out of this world. From my smartphone to yours, keep streaming for your weekly Namaste today. Welcome to Namaste today, a warm and toasty way to start your day. I'm your spiritual life coach, Sensei Christopher Witecki. I'm a psychic astrologer, and I consider myself a friend to the world. So good to see you back, my friend. Namaste. Well, I am taping up here in Denver, Colorado, where it is a frigid 41 degrees. I say frigid from a California perspective, but the natives here are having a great time. I've actually seen people go by in shorts. I saw a neighbor take out their garbage shirtless, so for them, this is amazing. For me, it's a little bit of a transition, and that's exactly what this week is going to be about, a transition. I think you're going to be a little introverted and a little cold yourself and detached because you'll be looking for where you belong in the universe. And this is not your annual Aquarius transit. This one is a biggie because of the late placement of Saturn and Sag. I argue we're all asking the very big questions. And in today's tea time, I'm going to talk about some of these big questions, which is our own alien disclosure. A lot of people have asked me, Sensei, what do you think about aliens? Well, we'll talk about that in our tea time. But first, let's take a look at the week's moods and your 5-day Zodiac Moodcast. This zodiac weather covers from Monday, January 23rd to Friday, January 27th, 2017. Looking ahead at your 5-day Moodcast, it's mostly an introverted week. Tuesday is the hardest day, and Friday is the new moon. Let's take a closer look. On Monday, you'll be sunny and learning, expanding, getting new information. Tuesday, you're sunny and growing again, but there's a real chance of breakdown. On Wednesday, it's sunny and pensive, and I am predicting a big aha moment on Wednesday. Thursday will be sunny and stable, so if you've been out of balance, you'll be restored to your balance on Thursday. And then come Friday, it's cloudy and spiritual because we have the new moon and Chinese New Year. Now, looking ahead at the week, it looks like it's a week of discovering yourself. And in our next little segment, a sneak peek at next week, I'm going to dive into how to do just that. Taking a sneak peek at the upcoming week, it looks like this week will be incredibly introverted for you. It's going to be an introverted time where you're looking to find your place in the universe. Now, you probably won't discover where you belong in the entire universe, but you will discover where you belong inside yourself. Belonging is somewhat literal. So some people feel like they belong focusing on their past and their pains. Some people feel like they belong focusing on their thoughts and their worry for the future. But the universe wants you to focus on belonging with your heart. And that may be what the big surprise is on Tuesday, Wednesday with the breakthrough. On Monday, the moon is in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius rules the day. So Monday's going to be a good day. You're going to be expanding and exploring. And I really say you should probably try to learn or explore before the universe shocks you in the 24 hours that follows, because sometimes Aquarius can be shocking. So if you go ahead and open the door and see for yourself whatever the curiosity is, you don't have to be shocked by things. But Tuesday, step 4 rules the day. Step 4 is the ruling step of Aquarius, and that means the universe is going to get you to where you really belong, which is in your heart. Now, your heart may not be happy once you're in your heart, and that may be why you were out of your heart, was because you didn't want to accept and receive where you were. That's one of the hard processes of Aquarius. Before you can figure out where you belong, you have to affirm where you are. So this week you are finding where you belong with yourself, and Tuesday is where there might be a little shock or revelation. At the same time, the moon will cross over Saturn on Tuesday, and that means you're going to have to emotionally grow up about something as well. Wednesday, things look really good. Venus crosses Chiron in this 24-hour period. So although this may be a shock to your system or a real truth coming out, it does show that you'll be opening up at that point to some real higher healing. And Wednesday, you will have just that. So if Tuesday totally sucks, realize Wednesday, you'll have a breakthrough and you'll understand exactly why things were. Now, what this is all leading to is you really getting to the bottom of where your heart is about certain things. Leo, which is the heart, is the opposite of Aquarius. In fact, the Earth right now is in Leo. So as you figure out where you belong, you also simultaneously satisfy your heart. But you have to get to the heart of everything to figure all this out. So I think on Thursday you'll be rebalancing, but then Friday, the new moon, this new moon is actually a step 7 new moon, which tells me that the universe is imprinting spiritual energy on where you belong. You'll be very spiritual and very introverted, and like it or not, the new moon is when we start like the roots of our next manifestation. It's the new moon, the new seed, the new beginning. So the universe is deliberately forcing everyone into a spiritual belonging in this new moon, whether you think it is or not, which is kind of good. You know, thinking ahead, I just want to put this out there. In February, we have a lunar eclipse in Aquarius at 22 degrees. What that means is that everyone's going to have some big plan that they once had kind of knocked out of the sky. It may mean that, you were planning to buy that house across the street and then all of a sudden it's sold. So it's like, whoa, that big plan is gone. The point is this new moon is pushing for a spiritual, and the universe is definitely going to be breaking down some big vision that you had in early February. And then the end of February, we have a solar eclipse in Pisces, which is the universe reinforcing that spiritual direction. So here's what I encourage for this week. I encourage you to do some real inner processing. First of all, on where your heart is with everything and getting to the heart of yourself. That's where you belong. That's the first thing. And then when you question where your heart belongs, definitely take the spiritual path. The spiritual path is the compassionate path, the path of least resistance, the path of mercy, which makes it easier on yourself than it should have been in the first place. It should have been so hard. That's the spiritual path, and those are the clues. But if you're a person that meditates and you also get a lot of message from spirit, well then Sensei is saying, the planets say, you best be following that path right now. In fact, there's a party going on in Pisces, and the moon is going to cross this party, and when it does, all this spiritual direction is being activated. So find your belonging, find your heart, and choose the spiritual path by Friday. Well, my friend, since we're in freaky Aquarius, I finally get to talk about some of the out-of-this-world sort of topics. So go steep yourself some tea, and let's have our weekly tea time. Hello, my friend, and welcome to our tea time. Today's tea time topic is alien disclosure. This topic actually came up from the Love Fest that I did in West Palm Beach. One of the viewers that came out to visit me asked me, Chris, what is your opinion about aliens? You never talk about aliens. And I thought to myself, okay, that's the cue from the universe to start talking about aliens. Now, personally growing up, I always had a spooky feeling that in this lifetime we would encounter aliens. I just want to say, as a young little mystic, I always kind of felt that. But, I kind of fell under the same spell, I think, of the propaganda and started to think it was ridiculous for a long time. And then, of course, along with the internet came all these stories that we have, Area 51 and all these underground operations. And I'd seen lots of videos that, allegedly we have crossbreds, living underground. And so all this I kind of just kept listening to. That's what I kind of do. I mean, I'm on a spiritual mission myself, so my overall opinion is that no matter what is true with aliens or not, God and the Holy Spirit is the highest vibration. And I'm not so certain that some alien races would be in touch with God or not. I think it's very probable that a race would go down a scientific path. So with all this scientific talk and alien talk, I'd normally just kind of stayed spiritual and been on the cusp of it. But then a viewer told me to watch a show on Gaia TV, and I had a reading with the viewer, and she was like, you got to watch this show, which is Cosmic Disclosure with David Wilcox. So I was like, okay, there's another sign from the universe. I tend to take my sign. So I started watching, and I was totally flabbergasted, actually, at what this show is disclosing. Now, there is another person in the show. His name is Corey Good, which is kind of interesting. Good with an E. And basically what David and Corey are talking about in this show is a full disclosure of what allegedly is going on. And what they're claiming is going on, and I encourage you to watch the series and tell me yourself what your thoughts are. But apparently we're already at Star Trek level already. Like, apparently our government has already cracked all the technology. We've been flying to Mars and flying to the edge of the universe for a long time. We've got apparently a space navy that's up there, and people are literally being brought into the space navy. So to me, I just kept taking all this in. Of course, I realized that modern society just probably thinks that David Wilcox and Corey are just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But the truth of the matter is this is how I watch everything. I listen to my own intuition. My guides, for the most part, with almost everything they were saying, my guides were saying, yes, that's true. Yes, that's true. So through the holidays, which is when I kind of discovered this was like November, through the holidays, I just kind of meditated on this and kept observing. And so I've kind of come to a shift now with aliens in the sense that I do believe they are here. I've always believed that they are here. I do believe our governments are working with them, at least the United States. I do believe that the United States has a shadow government that's working on this side. I don't believe that Trump is in on it, by the way. My spiritual guides say part of what President Trump is here to do is to trump all these plans for a one world order. And you may agree with the guy or you may not, but I think he's definitely like a strange coin that nobody expected. I think the reason why he has generals, so many generals and rich people, particularly from the oil industry, is because that's where the power is. And if there is this shadow government and they are working with aliens and we are out there fighting space wars already, it's definitely the bank cartels, the oil cartels, and the military that is probably tied up in it. So a lot of people keep predicting doom for this year. I had a couple people reach out and go, is there going to be doom? I don't think so. But I think that, I don't feel so either. But I do feel that when the real shock comes, which I believe the human race has a shock coming. And, we've always wondered, well, what's the shock going to be? Is it going to be World War III? Is it going to be the second coming of Christ? Is it going to be, and I think it won't be even aliens landing. I think it will be some sort of disclosure. One of the interesting parts that no one seemed to talk about, during the whole Hillary email scandal, because everyone was pointing on Russia, was that some of the emails in Hillary's staff, also from her campaign advisor, Podesta is his name, I think? Yeah, I almost went blank there. But he literally is talking in his emails about whether he thinks it's time that the American people know the truth about our disclosure of aliens. So no one even talked about that. So it's funny. I really think that, so my Sensei senses say that we ourselves have a huge, fantastic, out-of-this-world, intergalactic future in our lives. I'm starting to sense that the big change that I have always felt psychically, and when I mean change was, I just always felt that there'd be this huge ceiling opening up in our lifetime. And I looked at that ceiling as our enlightenment, and I still think it is. But I think something is going to trigger that enlightenment, and I now actually think, I'm going to go on a limb and say, I think it's going to be because of aliens. I think something is going to come out about what we've been doing or whatnot. Now, the sad truth is that apparently there's a whole bunch of alien technologies. Disease shouldn't even happen. It seems like we're under the thumb, of a few rich men on this planet who are the heads of big corporations, that they are the ones that want to keep us in the dark. It's not our governments. In fact, our governments, I think, have been bought out by these corporations. Now, my guides do say Donald Trump is an anomaly, like none of these corporations were expecting for him to win. Everyone had put their dark money into Hillary, so I do think we have this trailblazing moment in this year to kind of get a lot of truth out, especially with Saturn in Sagittarius. As far as any gloom and stuff happening, I don't feel that until at least Saturn's in Capricorn. This is going to be a honeymoon year. This is a year to go out and learn all this wacky stuff. The truth may come out this year. I don't know. I mean, I think the truth of the matter is the bad guys don't want the truth to come out, and the good guys do, is from what I can tell, and we're just going to have to see. Now, what can you do about it? Well, again, I think the story is most relevant with spirituality. I think that if aliens were to come, they would be telepathic, and so I'm going to work on connecting to my spirit, listening to my telepathy, opening up my higher chakras. Like, I want to be an intergalactic citizen before we become intergalactic. And I believe that a lot of these sixth senses and hyper-awareness that humans toy with at times is the way we're supposed to be every day of the week. We'll talk about Atlantis another week. Since this is Aquarius, I'm going to talk about all my wacky topics. But I think human beings have already been at this high vibrational level. And I find that no matter what is coming, my personal job as an Earth citizen is to wake up and to share my observations, basically, because then people can freely look for themselves or not look for themselves. So to sum up, I think the alien disclosure is not only are they here, they're probably what our whole future is about. And once we realize this, there'll be no turning back in human consciousness. So connect to your higher self and meditate, my friend. Well, if you didn't notice, I am here in front of downtown Denver, Colorado. And I do want to share with you that we're going to be doing a little convention here on March 17th to the 19th. It is the Body, Mind, and Spirit celebration. It's going to be in Denver Mart. I'll have information on my website. And we'll be doing a Denver Love Fest on that same Saturday, which I think is the 18th. Yes, the 18th. So I'll be giving you more details now. But anybody in the Denver area, please come down and say hello. Anybody in Colorado, come say hello. I'm going to be also focusing on the dojo, which we'll be talking about later on this year. But if you'd like to come see me, I'd love to see you. Well, friend, I hope you have a fabulous week here. Find out where you truly belong in your heart. That's the first thing. Where does your heart, find where you belong, listen to your spiritual path, and on Friday in the new moon, put out an intention to get on your personal journey. Because I believe it is happening, and it's happening in an awesome intergalactic way. Have a fabulous week. Remember, I love you, and live, love, be.